Yeah, but when I play Grand Theft Auto, I don't get virtually sexually assaulted. Take some virtual mace with you.
Created live on Fireside.
Hey love, you got your heart on your sleeve, but the shirt on your back's a bit small. Hey you, yeah, your colors are changing, the world ain't half bad after all. Na 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 na.
The world ain't half bad after all. Welcome everyone. You are listening to a replay of The Future of Influence. I'm your host, Wendy Cooper, and every Thursday I bring you live here on Fireside the future of a different topic. Tonight, it's influence. I want to thank Frederick and Keisha and Stefan and Razy and everyone that was in the audience that night. Here is a story, well, what we all have to say and share here on Fireside. Thank you for listening, and we're going to jump right in to Keisha, who had just come from doing her podcast here on Fireside. Sit back, enjoy the show. Thanks for listening, and here we go.
Your heart on your sleeve, but the shirt on your back's a bit small. Hey you, yeah, your colors are changing, the world ain't half bad after all. Na 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 na.
So the whole influencer thing, I like it. So lately I've been on TikTok, right? And I'm not really a TikToker. Like, I don't do too many videos. I do things that are very like normal. But what I'm attracted to is the everyday person who's just sharing a real experience. And I've also noticed that some of these people are doing ads. Like, they'll be like, oh my God, I was trying this pill and let me tell you what happened. And it's so real and you kind of connect with it. It's not like what we grew up on, like watching commercials and everybody's so perfect and everything is like it's done a certain way. So now when you see these influencers and these younger people who are just jumping up there and putting it all out there, and they're like just being real. Their hair is messy. They don't care. They're blow drying their hair on camera to show you how great this product is, or putting on makeup like in front of everyone.
In television commercials for many years, we use testimonials and before and after pictures and, all that good stuff. So it's just kind of like a different way of giving everyone the ability to speak about a product. I think these people are actually being paid, and for me, I think that's what actually makes them an influencer, because they're influencing other people, right, to buy a product, a service, or maybe, they're influencing a brand to notice them, It could be that simple.
Yep. And I think that's the wave of the future. I think we're going to see a lot more everyday people being the advertisers. I'm not saying celebs are going away, because we all like to look at celebs too. I love Kim Kardashian. I love, looking at all the pretty girls and saying, oh my God, look at the, whatever. But I feel like we're really connecting with real people, everyday people who, are really sharing their real experiences with us. Like, I have a podcast and I interview real people. Not to say that celebrities aren't real people, because they're real people too.
I think it's a beautiful point to make that, yeah, they're real people because they have hearts and lungs and things like this, but celebrities really are real people. They have real problems. For me, I think it's a real problem to be a celebrity, to give up my right of privacy, to pursue a craft that I love with a passion, and yet
things are different for them, right? They have influence. They're not easily accessible. And I think in that instance, sometimes it just takes them to a different place mentally. Whereas I can sit here and talk to you and we have this great conversation and it's down to earth and it's normal, but maybe with a celeb, they would not even pay attention to me because they can only really talk to their people. I don't know. Some people might be like that. Some people might be like you, but I feel like it's just a total different world. So I love talking to the everyday person who is doing their thing and they're happy about it and they're living authentically and, they don't have to put on for anyone,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, hey, Frederick Penny has joined the show.
I like the fact that the movie stars aren't taking everything, but it's the average everyday people that are becoming stars on social media. Let me tell you, as a lawyer, I've represented some TikTokers, Instagrammers. We have a company that does some of that down in LA. But there's two kids. I know of two specific kids. They live near a lake in Northern California. I think one of them lived in a trailer, but just did not come from, money, right? And they hit big on TikTok. And the two of them became well known, and I'm going to say fairly famous on TikTok. I think they got up to about 9 million followers, and it was great to see a couple of young kids just making it that come from nowhere, right? And good for them. I was excited about it. I'm happy about it. I like the problem with the influencer and all the social media, which Wendy, I'm big into social media, huge, and I've been into it since it all started. But it's not only addicting, but it's work. So I post probably, for sure, at least every other day, but mine's real. You know me, I'm real. I'm a real lawyer. Everything I do, a lot of it is fake. I know what's going on. Did you know there's a place you can rent for $100 an hour, a studio that looks like a private jet, and they go in there and
I don't think that those are influencers. Those are what I would call fake influencers, because they go in and they spend some money to rent a Lamborghini or park it in front of a stupid rich house, or that's all bullshit. It's all, sorry, I digress. Keisha?
Fred, I wanted to know if those two kids that got, popularity, did it change them in a negative way, a positive way, or they remain the same? What would you say?
All the above. And let me tell you, the nice thing about it, though, they make a lot of money. Let me tell you, the top influencers, funny you brought up Kardashians. The Kardashians were the original influencers. Kim Kardashian she came on just for her name's sake, right? She hadn't really done any big movies or anything.
She never has.
Right. So she's one of the original influencers, right? So she's the one that pushed it.
Well, I think that created the kind of term influencer.
So these kids, though, they're making money. The top influencers, and there's a couple of kids on TikTok, ready for this, right? This is going to be a mic drop. They're netting, I think I'm almost positive, around $16 million a year.
Nothing about that is normal, natural for a kid of any age.
I know a couple of them. I know one guy that one drop. He did one drop, and he's out of San Diego, and he did one drop, and it went viral. He made $110,000, I think, over $100,000 on it.
Yeah. And Wendy, that answers your question. I think that people are realizing that this is a platform that if they use it the right way, it can change their lives.
I'm not so sure it's always for the better, though.
So, yes, they are doing things to, get popular and make money, right? But I still think that they are doing it as themselves. Some people are really getting on there and being themselves and doing their thing. They're doing what they love to do. And then there are others that are doing the most, right? Because I see a lot of people on here and I'm like, damn, is that necessary? But when you watch girls who are so passionate about makeup and hair and whatever, and they get on and they show every spot and mark and whatever, just to create this beautiful look and show it to you, to me, that's passion.
Yeah, Keisha, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, earlier in the show, remember this is a replay and it's edited. We were talking about Kim Kardashian. We were talking about, the influence that the Kardashians basically have on young girls and women with facial surgery, implants, not looking at all really like what they once looked like, organic or natural state. This brings in Stefan. And Stefan, I love. He is a creator here on Fireside also. But here's his take, and I love it.
So, Wendy, to your first point, with Kim doing all these body enhancements, I agree with you. I don't think that it's right at all, because it makes the girls out there who have natural bodies feel bad about themselves, like especially when they're in high school or even in middle school and they're going through all these changes and they're seeing the Kardashians and other celebrities getting all these like body enhancements, and they're seeing the attention they get, and then they're not getting it themselves. And they're like, okay, well, maybe I'm ugly the way that I am. No one's going to like me, so I have to do all this other stuff, put all this makeup on, or shoot my face up with stuff. So it's definitely not good when it comes to younger girls and body image. And Keisha, to your point, I think that influencers, when you get to a certain point, you should try and use your platform for good. Take up an activism, so like either equal rights or, I don't know, do something positive with your platform to where you're spreading joy, and it's not just you just doing this to get to all this level, but you're not really giving back. Like, that's my thing, like, especially for, I know some influencer who they're up there. I'm like, well, give back. Like, give back to the followers who gave you that position, who gave you that power to do all these campaigns with these brands and everything. Give back. Like, otherwise it's like you're not really necessarily being humble about it. It's just like, okay, well, this is me.
So I love Stefan brings up his point of view from a very Gen Z cultural viewpoint, which is awesome. Give back. Don't take anything for granted, right? You're getting this opportunity, so what are you going to do to influence others? And that's a beautiful thing about the Generation Z. I honor that. As a brand strategist, I really love that. Keisha, on the other hand, is Gen X. And there's a very different mindset there, right? And I'm what you would call a boomer. I'm 67. But I've been in advertising and marketing for 30 years. And so I see all of these different differences. Influence is such, it feels as though it is such a relevant topic. Like, it's almost like a authenticity or being transparent. But what it really is what it does influence really mean to all the different generations?
I could definitely see Holly Berry telling me that a hat looks nice on me today. I could definitely see it. Like,
I was just gonna say, I agree. I don't have any plastic surgery. I'm not doing any plastic surgery. What God gave me, these little boobs, I'm gonna keep them. My butt is a little plump, but it's not like the girls out there. And I'm gonna keep what I have. Like, no, thank you.
I totally agree.
I think it's ridiculous and I think it's crazy. I don't understand why everyone wants to enhance their bodies and faces to look the same. It's crazy. Right? So I totally agree with you with that. What I'm talking about is when I see girls who are trying to teach other people how to apply makeup or how to do a hairstyle. Those are the influencers I'm talking about, right? Again, the real people, the everyday people who are just out there hustling their passions, what they're passionate about, hoping to get a slice of the pie. So yes, they're trying to get on, they're trying to get that notoriety, that fame or whatever. Will they lose themselves along the way? Some of them will, and maybe some of them won't. We don't know. But I feel like what we're looking at now is these platforms have opened up the gates for everyday people to have a voice, have a face, talk about their experiences, show you whatever they want, and no one can stop them. And whatever happens as a result, they're taking advantage of it.
Yes.
Does that mean that it is right? And what is the future of that, right? How big does that grow? Does it grow out of control? Does it give false hope? Is it inspiring or aspiring children?
There's this guy that does pranks in a store. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but someone will be like shopping in like Walmart or Target, and he'll throw something at them from like a box of teddy bears. And I'm like, he's going to get himself hurt and he's going to hurt someone else. But this is all to go viral. It's like ridiculous to me. That stuff pisses me off. Another thing that pisses me off is people who have gotten to the point where they have a lot of followers and they have a little bit of influence, and they're using their platform to play therapist. They have people call on their Instagram lives, and they, have this person tell them their personal problems, and they're just clowning the person on live, because they know people are going to watch. And it's like this big spectacle. Like, that sickens my stomach. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of trash that we're going to get with this, as well as a lot of good stuff that's going to come out of it.
The internet has been around forever, it seems like, going back to the 90s, right? The growth of social media, the intrusion of social media, the ability to have a voice, the ability for everyone to be a creator, the ability for everyone to stand out, to say their piece, to say their grievances, whatever it is, it doesn't sometimes feel normal. It sometimes to me feels like it could possibly perpetrate and create problems for the future. And so is influence truly a good thing? How can we make it a safe thing? And, how is it that we all see it in a very different ways? Influence has always been around. Politicians have always influenced people. Athletes are influencers. I want to grow up to be. But when I hear people who have young children saying, I worry about because my kid wants to be an influencer, it's what does that really mean? So, what is the future of influence besides a lot of the stuff that's happening in the metaverse, which is, did you guys hear something about a lady that said that she was fondled in the metaverse, which is absolutely ridiculous because how can you be fondled in the metaverse? I was just wondering, did anybody else hear that? Oh, look, Ray is here. Ray has joined.
I did hear about that. And that I guess if you are really considering your what is it called? I forget, your virtual self. If you consider that an actual person, then she would have been assaulted, but I'm not there yet where I could be like, yeah, your virtual emoji, whatever symbol you are is really you. And it's kind of like everything else. You could, go into a room where the conversation is going to be different, or you can walk down an alley where it's dark. And so you choose where you want to hang out in the metaverse, in real life, in social media. You choose who you follow. There's been a video game out for like 20 years already. I think it's called Grand Theft Auto. And you can go and pick up hookers and punch them. And that's really a metaverse because there's people playing that like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, but when I play Grand Theft Auto, I don't get virtually sexually assaulted. I'm gonna take some virtual mace with you.
The metaverse thing, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that whole thing. And when I heard that lady was assaulted in the metaverse, I was like, oh, that ain't someplace for me to be going, okay?
What I've learned about the metaverse, you'll be in a augmented virtual reality. You'll get to actually see how the clothes looks on you before you purchase it. And I could see how they'll incorporate designers or celebrity workouts for them to be there with you. The positive thing about that as well is it like on Instagram, I forget how many yearly or daily people like bots, fake accounts are taken down by Instagram. So we have a lot of people buying accounts, trying to prove fake influence. And on the metaverse, the way it's supposed to work is that's supposed to be eliminated. There won't be fake accounts. So now we'll be able to see, did you just buy your influence? Or, if you're having and saying something of value, then your influence, I think, will grow. But this will make it an even playing field. And if the average person doesn't have a chance to make money as an influencer, then it's just going to be the regular media who will continue to influence even young women. Like, well, you need to be this shape, or you need to put on makeup. Regardless, it's going to come. But at least I think this way, the average person has a chance to make some money.
I do think we are needed. I think that we round things out. So yeah, you need the celebrities, you need the big media, companies or whatever to do their thing, but we are also a part of that, and we will be needed, right?
But in order to wrap this show up and put a little button on it for all of you listening to the replay, what it boils down to is influence has always been around. Influence will continue to be around. And influence is a big factor in everyone's lives. There are certain people who have influenced me in my life, whether it's my mother, or whether it was a friend, or maybe it was a celebrity, or someone that I worked with, or someone that I admire right here on Fireside. The reality of all of it is that influence isn't going anywhere. Influence is here to stay. It is what we do with the influence that we are exposed to, how we influence others, and how in our creator economy, our creator world, we have the ability to improve, enhance, and create our own influence on those around us, those of all different generations, those of all different passions, those of all different lifestyles, colors, ethnic backgrounds, beliefs, and who we go to bed with and sleep with and kiss goodnight every night.
Got your heart on your sleeve, but the shirt on your back's a bit small. Hey, you.
Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Make sure to check out The Future of every Thursday with me and the Fireside audience.
Na, na,